Welcome to the Great Melting Pot, where we interview people about their stories of migration to the United States and learn about where we come from and how history informs who we are today. I'm Yante Jackson, the host of the Great Melting Pot. In this episode, we're going to interview Kateh Ismaili, who moved to the United States from Iran in 1976 to Memphis, Tennessee, and later to New York City. Let's hear it. Hello, Kateh.
Hello.
Welcome to the Great Melting Pot.
Thank you.
Can you tell me your story of coming to the United States from Iran?
Sure. So I came here with my mom and my brother in 1976. We came to visit for the summer, and once the summer was coming to an end, my mom was getting ready to go back, and I asked her to stay, if I could stay. And she was somewhat surprised and said she had to think about it and talk to my dad. And so they spoke, and they decided to let me stay with my aunt. And so I stayed here during the year, lived with my aunt and my cousin, and then in the summer I went back to visit.
What was it about being here that made you want to stay? What did you like about it?
What did I like about it? I had a really fun summer with my cousin and my brother. We would go, they put us in a camp in the summer that was fun. And so that was the pull. But I also didn't want to go back. So part of it was... What didn't
you want to go back to? What was it that...
Yeah, part of it was school. I didn't really like my experience at school. Mm-hmm. Part of it was family issues that I didn't want to go back to deal with. Mm-hmm. So this was like a great opportunity to escape all that.
And then was it difficult when you were here in the beginning because you didn't speak English, right?
Very difficult, yes. It was extremely difficult. When I started school, I knew no English, and there was no such thing as English as a second language class. This was 1976. So I would sit in class and just listen as things went on. When it was time to read, the teacher would go around and have kids read and then skip right over me because I couldn't read.
Wow.
So that was very difficult. And then eventually the school decided that I need to learn English faster, and they got a tutor for me. So I had a girl who was in high school who would tutor.
And did she know how to teach English, kind of?
I don't think she did. I think she would just go over and read with me. Okay. And, I knew the alphabet, but I didn't really know how to speak.
Yeah.
I think when you're younger, you just pick things up quicker. Mm-hmm. So eventually I picked it up. It was just like osmosis and being in the environment, immersion kind of.
Right. What have you ended up doing with your life in the United States since you came?
What did I do? I ended up becoming a teacher. I became an adult literacy teacher.
And how have you contributed to this country and culture with that work?
Ooh, what a good question. So I think, I think literacy is a very important skill, and there are millions of Americans who don't speak or who don't read and write and do math, and my contribution has been to be someone who serves in that profession and gives back and makes sure that people are able to take part in democracy by learning to read and write and do math. It's really hard to participate when you don't have those basic skills.
Yeah, it's super important. Especially the participating in democracy. How were you able to come here, become a citizen, and what was the process you had to go through? Were you allowed, when you stayed as a kid, how were you allowed to stay?
So when I came in 76, it was very easy for Iranians to come. We had a visa just to visit, it was a visitor visa, and then when I wanted to stay, it was rather simple to get a 4-year student visa.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so that, and then that was extended. And at some point, when my mother came, then she, because of her status, she had a political asylum. She got a visa to stay in that way. And then so it just, and then it was easy for me because I had been here so long, I could become a resident and then
get a green card.
Get a green card, yeah.
Wow. So how do you think it's changed for people since that time?
It's much, much more difficult and much more punitive, and it's like the Iron Gate has come down on people who want to come here. Much more difficult to become a citizen, resident. Used to be so easy when people would come and, you would marry an American citizen, and within a very short time you would become a resident and then a citizen if you wanted. And now it's much more difficult.
Yeah. What are your hopes and dreams for the future as an immigrant in America?
My hope is that we can ride this really difficult wave of what I hope is not fascism in this country. I hope it's not the end of this empire, which is, I hope we can leave a better country for our kids.
Yeah, me too. Phew. Okay, thank you for your contribution. Thanks for listening to The Great Melting Pot, Episode 1 with Kateh Ismaili. Come back next time to hear the interview with Lillis McLean talking about her ancestors coming to the United States from Ireland at the turn of the 20th century.